Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about the sneaky habit that's keeping you broke. A survey last year found that 30% of Americans who make $250,000 or more are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I know that may sound ridiculous to you, and you're not alone, and you're not the crazy one. Only 7% of Americans make $250,000 or more. So the other 93% are thinking, man, if I made $250,000 per year, that would literally solve all my problems. And a lot of people are wondering how it's even possible to be making that much money and still feel stressed about money. But this isn't completely shocking to me because I've seen firsthand that making money and managing money are two totally different things. So you can be really good at your job, make a great salary, and still have no clue how to manage the money that you have. Now, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Nobody is born knowing exactly how to handle their money. And debt is so common because managing money, well, it's a discipline. It takes practice. But with a plan, I really believe that anyone can win with money regardless of your salary. And after teaching about money for over a decade, there are 5 money management skills that I think everyone needs to master. The first up is budgeting. Yep, you knew I was going to say it, and I said it. Budgeting, but it is the foundation of financial success. It's not there to limit you, but it is there to free you up. It gives you the freedom to spend money. It gives you the freedom in the short term and the long term when it comes to your income. And it's like a built-in accountability for you. I mean, you're able to look at it and say, okay, am I staying within the range I said I was going to? It's a plan, you guys. That's what it is. It is so easy to go through life, get a paycheck, kind of spend it, say, kind of figure it out and keep going and just living that life where you could be doing so much more with your income if you actually had a plan. So the budget is huge. All right, the second skill is living without debt. So debt from the past robs you in the present. So it is important to stop taking on more debt and start paying it off as soon as possible. And so what happens is you are looking in a rearview mirror when you live with debt. You're paying for things that you've already bought, food you've already eaten, clothes you've already worn, vacations you've already taken, and you are living your life like this. And something mentally is different when you live your life like this versus looking forward and looking in the present, paying for things as you go, or even saving up and paying for things in the future. So I would encourage you to start paying off debt as soon as possible. And this means living without debt. So no more credit cards, no more car payments or student loans. The only thing you can finance that we won't yell at you for is taking out a mortgage on your home. And that's okay because most people don't have the cash to go ahead and buy a house outright. And it's an investment because it's an appreciating asset. So that's the one type of debt I will not yell at you for. So after you start working your way out of debt and you start saving up for a home, maybe you even start saving up for your emergency fund, but there are things that you can do in life when you don't have debt, when you don't have payments, your income comes back to you. Because a lot of people think, how am I gonna save this much? Or what about retirement? And they're looking ahead thinking, how am I gonna do this? Well, think about if you had no car payment, credit card debt, student loan debt, think about all that extra income that's freed up that could be going towards you and your future. All right, before I share the rest of these skills, I wanna tell you about one of my new favorite games right now, and that is Tapple. Tapple, you guys, is so much fun. This is a game you can play with a group of friends, with your family. It can be as competitive as you want it to be. So if you're playing with me, we're probably gonna be a little competitive, or it can be as fun and enjoyable as you want it. But it's kind of like that game, a category game. So you take a big category, you have a board with a timer in the middle, and around the board are a bunch of different letters. And so you have to yell out a name in that category, a word in that category, put down the letter that word starts with, and you keep going down the board. And if a letter is up, and it's like the only one up or one of the last few up, you have to still find a word with that letter that starts with that letter. And sometimes people choke and the timer goes off. They don't have time, figure it out, and then they lose. And then you win, which makes the game so fun when you win, right? So start making memories today and buy Tapple at Walmart. All right, the third money management skill is goal-based saving. So the first goal I want you to save up for is an emergency fund of $1,000. Then once you are out of debt, you're gonna bump up that emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses. So an emergency fund really gives you cushion in life to be prepared for the things that you don't prepare for, right? I mean, stuff happens all the time. And once an emergency happens, you're able to take money out of your emergency fund and pay for it instead of going deeper in debt. So once that emergency fund is in place, then you can also create additional sinking funds for future purchases by slowly setting aside money every single month for that purchase. So maybe it's a car you're saving up for. You're gonna save maybe a few $100s every single month towards that car. So in a year from now, when you replace your car, you have all the money saved. It's all there. You can use it and buy the car. So managing your money with practical goals in mind is really key to this. And usually goals require saving. So you're able to look in the future and say, hey, let's be intentional with our money. Look in the future and decide whether it's an emergency fund, a sinking fund, or maybe the next thing we're about to talk about. But you're really looking to see where can we put our income to build wealth. So that brings us to the fourth skill, which is investing. So I recommend investing 15% of your income into retirement. So that's your 401k, that's your Roth IRA. Anything with retirement and being in that habit of putting money away for it is really, really important. And I understand that it can feel like a black hole, especially if you're younger. You're putting money away and you're like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to see it? Yes, you will. Listen, and you're putting money aside because when you get to be that age, I'm telling you, or at least I know for me, I'm going to be a lot more bougier at 65 years old. 65-year-old Rachel's going to be bougie. She's going to be able to travel the world, enjoy her life, and it's going to be great. So right now I'm just telling myself, yep, 65-year-old Rachel. And then some people are like, well, what if something happens to you, you never get to enjoy that money? Well, then it's passed on to your kids, or your family tree has changed at that point, right? So saving for the future is really wise because you don't want to get to that age and have nothing and having to keep working a job that you hate, having to depend on the government. I mean, all of that is not a great plan. So put the control back on you. And I'll say this, once you've learned about compound interest and how it can grow your money over time, trust me, you're gonna wanna get to this quickly. So I want you out of debt. I want you to have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses and then start saving to invest. All right, finally, the fifth money management skill is to stick to the plan. So with anything, it's easy to get off track, but listen, these small habits that you're forming right now, these daily behavior changes that you're experiencing, this is gonna give you progress. So when you start feeling that momentum, use that as fuel for more progress. So when it comes to your money, again, working towards your goals, working on a plan is so big. And the baby steps, you guys, I'm telling you, this is a big deal. This is a really big deal, and stick to that plan. It is the fastest way to get from point A to point B when it comes to getting out of debt and building wealth. So remember, there is really a massive difference in making money and managing money. If you have more money to spend, trust me, you'll find a way to spend it, unless you have great money habits in place. But I promise you, implementing these 5 skills will help change the game for you. So start with step 1, try out a monthly budget with our budgeting app, Every Dollar. It is a perfect tool. It is wonderful when it comes to budgeting and getting you in the habit for it. And make sure to send this video to a friend who wants to know more about smart money habits. And remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love.